I watch a bunch of different people, but my number one person I watch the most is the H3 podcast with Ethan Klein. Like for me, that's like my favorite go-to. I know a lot of people, it's so interesting with him too, right? Because when he first started, he was kind of like more edgy. He would kind of like attract a different sort of audience, I guess you could say. And a lot of like, listen, not to get political because we never do that here, but I think he was attracting like far more people, like more on the right, I guess you could say, right? Which is fine. But I think he started getting to a point where he kind of wanted to like change the way he was doing things. You know, maybe some things he said 8 years ago, maybe not appropriate to say anymore, you know, that kind of thing. So now with his podcast currently, I personally love it. I think it's great. I don't think it's like a sanitized podcast. I think he's just, you know, kind of like is a little more careful than he was 10 years ago or something, you know? But it seems like a lot of his fans, like whenever I say I like this podcast, there's always so many people I see on Twitter saying the opposite. Like, oh my God, he's the worst. But he's got a lot of fans, but I feel like there's a number of people who used to be fans who can never let it go. This guy sucks now. And I want you to know that I used to listen to him, but he sucks now, you know? I'll give him credit, man. He works hard. He's got like 5. You see some people do like one podcast a week. This guy has 5 shows every week that he does. Like, and I'm talking about like 3-hour-long shows. I just enjoy it so much that I just always throw it up while I'm driving or whatever. You know how like if you listen to Sacred Symbols, they have a lot of inside jokes and things you wouldn't understand unless you're a fan of the show.
Yeah.
Well, take that and multiply it by like 1,000. Like if you watch an episode of the H3 podcast now as a newcomer, you'd probably be so lost. There's so many, like there's a guy on the show who does sound bites and it's not like a corny little sound bite here and there. Like he is an expert. We could say something like, I'm looking forward to the Elden Ring DLC and he'll play some drop that's like something, someone saying something about a ring. Like he's so fast with it. It's crazy and it's so funny. We'll say, Tim, remember yesterday when you slipped outside in the snow and like 5 seconds later he has a picture of you like looking funny slipping on the snow. Like they have a really good system, you know? Ethan himself, the main person, he just cracks me up. Like there's always clips that you'll see of him these days where it looks like he's saying something totally crazy or inappropriate. And if you didn't watch the show, obviously without the context, it would seem like, what the heck's wrong with this guy? Why is he saying this stuff? It's just so funny. It just cracks me up personally. I'll watch it. He said something about, so he's Jewish, right? He said something about Ben Shapiro one time. I don't even want to repeat it. All the people came after him. All the conservatives were really angry with him because they just saw that. They think he's like, they don't even know that he's Jewish probably or anything. And they were all trying to like cancel him and stuff. So that's kind of his vibe, right? Like he's really funny, but he always is on the end. The thing about him that a lot of people don't realize is he has this thing about him. Like he's always trying to look as silly and dumb as, like he'll do any gag. Like this guy will like bleach his hair, cut his eyebrows off for anything, just for the show. So when people see him sometimes they're like, who is this ugly, gross looking guy? You know, it's like, that's how it always is. But in my personal opinion, I think the show is the best it's ever been now. You know, it's great. And so much content. So that's probably my number one I watch here and there. Like I watch so much YouTube and some people can't wrap their head around that. They're like, why do you watch YouTube so much? I'm like, you don't understand, man. YouTube's like a cable network to me, you know? That's how I use it, at least. I will say I've been slacking hard on Sacred Symbols over the last, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months, just because
I'm bigger into them than I ever have because I use the Patreon. I'm the $5 tier, so I'm listening to. They do
so much. They have
5, if not 6 shows within a week as well.
So they're like H3, similar.
So I'm listening to a ton, and you're talking hours each bit.
But that's what I see. That's why I respect those two creators, because you pay $5 a month and you get access to so much. It's like all the H3 shows together. He has a show every Monday. He has like a 3-hour show. Tuesday is like an hour and a half. Wednesday another 3. Thursday's like 2. And Friday's like another 3. So it's like, you're talking about over 10 hours. I mean, it's a lot of content every week. And I'm sitting there like, it's like a checklist. I have them all on my playlist. I just one by one, just go through them slowly. Oh my God. You know, Charlie, Moist Critical. Yeah. I watch his videos a lot.
I watch him all the time. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Yeah.
I just like that he has these quick, like 8-minute videos about whatever he wants to talk about. Yes. I'm into a lot of the YouTube boxing, not even just YouTube, but like the influencer boxing scene. Okay. So there's some people who cover that a lot and it's funny to see like the worlds collide with like Chris Raygun from Sacred Symbols. And I've already been following all this stuff on the other end. Mm-hmm. The first Creator Clash I was way into because I already was in that scene, you know? So it's funny to see him in that now. Yeah. So I talked about like the boxing scene or whatever. You know, KSI is a huge YouTuber. I mean, he's real big in the UK, but he's got like 30 million subscribers or 25 million subscribers. And I just like him because he does so many different things and he does them so well. He does like music and he's like top of the charts.
Oh,
He
I know
does.
who he is.
Yeah, he does the boxing. He's doing great. But then what I love about him is even as big as he's gotten, he still makes like a YouTube video every week, just going on his Reddit and just laughing about stuff. I love that. You know, it's pretty cool to still be doing that. So
still seems down to earth.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. I'd say those are probably the majority of the big ones. You know, there's gaming stuff, obviously. Oh, Skill Up, I watch a lot. I like Skill Up.
Yeah.
I like his weekly show. I like his. Actually, he just put out a video that says I played Final Fantasy 16 and interviewed Yoshi P. So I'm definitely gonna watch that. That's pretty cool.
I want to see that.
And he also, but it also says I played Final Fantasy 16, and you know, it's shaping up to be one of the best ever. That like gets me so excited, man.
Yep.
Cannot wait.